What is your guilty pleasure? Sometimes, when a co-worker is upset for whatever reason, I slip a dollar bill in their coat pocket when they're not looking. It's not much, but I always feel better when I find a long-forgotten dollar bill in my pocket. I've actually seen it brighten up their day, so I know it works. They're usually confused but excited about it. I like to vividly imagine scenarios I'd rather be in. I'm a chronic daydreamer. Edit. Gold. Thank you, kind stranger. You have turned my daydream into reality. D. And I'm glad I'm not the only one that does this. I feel like it's so much more common than we think. Being 100% honest. For real. I love the feeling of a solid nose picking. Never been a pick and licker. That's gross. But it is so satisfying to clean out the snout every so often. Just do it in private. Stick it in a tissue and wash your hands after. I feel cleaner for it overall. I have cookies and milk almost every time I wake up in the middle of the night. I used to be open about writing poetry, but I've gotten way more closed off about it. I don't think I'm good anymore, and it also feels pretentious to say I write poetry for some reason. When I'm in my car alone, I sing along to No Rain by Blind Melon. I can do it 10 to 15 times in a row. No problem. I follow several lovely, mom, lifestyle, couponing type bloggers. But I'm a high school senior. They just seem to genuinely be having fun. And I learn stuff along the way. Heck yeah. I am my extremely conservative Christian family's innocent girl who can do no wrong. What they don't know is BDSM. Lots and lots of BDSM. Reddit. If you met me, you might not expect I spend hours and hours a day on here. I'm a closet nerd and find most of the content right up my alley. I have found myself saying, I'm not the only one, quite often when I'm on Reddit. Taco Bell. I was always in the Taco Bell sucks. I'd rather have a real taco camp because I am Mexican. But secretly I actually like it. Although, not as much as real tacos. Bought 9 yesterday. http://y49wayo.png. Pro wrestling. I don't have any problems admitting I like anime. But I'll never admit to liking wrestling. The only people who know that I still regularly watch WWE are people in our squared circle. Dude, here who likes the Backstreet Boys. I'm not talking about the hits either. I Want It That Way or Everybody. I'm talking about their more obscure songs like Get Down or Hey Mr. DJ. I'm a 40-year guy with wife, couple of kids and a couple of dogs. I like rock, Pink Floyd, Zeppelin, Faith No More, AC/DC, etc., etc. When I'm alone in the car, I sing Broadway show tunes at the top of my voice. I feel shame. Ever since I watched Blackfish a few years ago, I have been fascinated by watching videos of orcas in the wild. I've spent many hours on YouTube watching them, and I've watched all of Blue Planet. Not incredibly embarrassing, I guess, but I just feel like it's a weird thing for me to be into since I'm almost 30. Frasier. I don't know anyone my age who enjoys it. The TV in our apartment is communal space and we pretty much always have people over, so we generally have to compromise on shows everyone will like, so I only really watch it alone. Celebrity gossip sites. Reading about some stranger's train wreck of a life somehow makes me feel better about mine. Anime. My wife is the only person who knows I watch it. I like to eat vanilla ice cream with Lay's barbecue chips. Korean soap operas. I can't understand a word they are saying. I'm hooked on reading the subtitles. I love that disco funk stuff from the 70s, 80s. The song September by Earth, Wind & Fire, for example. Compared to my usual fare of metal and rock, It's pretty out there. Squeezing out blackheads and pimples, or even watching videos of them on YouTube. I adopt dogs from the pound that are about to be put down and I find them homes. If I told my parents or grandparents, they would say I'm being irresponsible with my money. I really love role-playing games. It's a secret dream of mine to run a YouTube series exploring different games through different campaign seasons. Start with DMD, then Shadowrun, Call of Cthulhu, Vampire, The Masquerade, maybe with one-shot episodes showcasing smaller, older or lesser-known systems. I'm a large, masculine dude. Tall, broad shoulders, deep voice, muscled arms, hairy chest. I kinda wish I was a hot, sexy little chick. I fantasize about it frequently. I have a comfort book, Twilight. I read it whenever I am in a book abyss. Read a book that tore my heart out. Time to reread Twilight. Read a book that was an utter disappointment. Time to hunt down Twilight. The love story in the first book is less creepy vampire-y and more cutesy first love. ASMR. I know what my first reaction was to it, so I know what kind of response I'd get. But hey, it helps me relax. None of these are nearly as fucked up as I would think they would be, so here's a weird one. When I was about 15, I used to love going to anonymous chat rooms, pretend I was a female, talk dirty with the boys and make them tell me when they were hard came. Weird part is I'm a straight male. Always have been. But IDK imagining being on the other side of that conversation always got me aroused. I have a real soft spot for cheesy 90s country music. Since I'm primarily a hard rock, metal fan, you can understand why I will never admit it IRL. But Pandora knows. One Direction. I don't know why, but I like their catchy music. I'm a 23-year-old male. I love K-pop like a ton. The sad thing is though is that I know how horrible the industry and online fandom is. Both are pretty abusive, and sometimes outright stupid. IMO. But something about those overproduced songs, cool music videos and gorgeous people just get me going. It's like crack. I guess you can say the same for other types of pop music too. But man, Vocaloid music. Never bought a Vocaloid. And most of what I like is older stuff. But it's hard to explain to people what it is and why I like it. Plus anything that looks like anime is stigmatized as anime. Though for the record, I do occasionally watch anime too. I also read fan fiction. Even though I know it will stink. It's like a train wreck. I just can't look away. If I pluck a hair or, say, an eyelash falls out, and nobody's home, I'll strip the little follicle bit off with my teeth and eat it. I'm 22 years old and still enjoy Lego and Mega Bloks. I build them, then shelve them, then move on to the next set. I like to leave anonymous gifts for terminally ill hospital patients. Nothing extravagant. Things like magazines, sweet treats and toys. I was once visiting a friend when they brought in some of the books I donated and the patients were so happy that it's become a regular thing for me. And it makes me feel really good. I finger my own ass. It's not something guys usually talk about. I've come to enjoy erotic stories, false or true, involving incest. Edit. Incest from siblings. I wasn't being precise enough. Watching hoarders. I have to be home alone and usually eating crap food. I just love watching the train wrecks without having to actually experience it. I daydream that I'm working as usual. Then a villain comes in and I have to defend everyone. And an epic battle ensues. I'm quite trusting with kinks and the like to good friends. But I don't really have good friends anymore. In a way, being terribly miserable and lonely is a guilty pleasure. It's not something I relish as much now that I take antidepressants. but feeling like no one cares about me if I just fade away outside of family is so intensely bad. Feeling anything is better than just being numb to it all. It's hard to explain. The Kardashian-Jenner family. Every time I see an article, my brain says it's stupid and we hate them, and my finger clicks on it. Anyway, next thing I know is 2 hours later and I'm 6 pages deep on Google Images looking at pics of Kylie Jenner's lips, and I hate myself for it. Jim Croce. The moustache is as captivating as the lyrics. I enjoy Miller Lite when I'm drinking alone, precisely because it's barely beer and doesn't even really feel like drinking when I have a dozen. I enjoy watching YouTube videos of soldiers returning home and surprising their families. It's heartwarming. I've seen every episode of Vampire Diaries like 5 times. I don't know why I like it, but I love it. My husband always jokes he's going to out my love of Vampire Diaries to my friends. I know the dance choreography to the chorus. https u2.be/nkajquirkdick t=44 of asterisk is gonna be ~may~me asterisk, and I enjoy doing it. Ripping a hot steamy fart and just breathing that baby in. I love my brew. Does anyone else get this? I get these really nice goosebumps when someone else is using my stuff and I'm consciously acknowledging that they are using my stuff in my head. I'm always really eager to lend people my stuff, and then I sit there discreetly watching them using it. Really weird, I know, but no one's caught me yet. I like to play video games on easy mode. I love gaming, but truth be told I have far more enthusiasm than I do skill. And while I take great pride in the fact it only took me 12 attempts to survive the first and second phases of Ornstein and Smo, sometimes I just don't want to have to work that hard. Sometimes I just want to stride across the landscape like a god amongst pigeons, smacking enemies and saving people and enjoying the story. That I enjoy My Little Pony. It's been a while since I've actually watched anything relevant with it, but I kinda like it. And nobody must know that. I like watching people suffer in their own little worlds. I often find enjoyment in people having a hard time or difficulties with certain things. I watch weird medical videos online. I love art popping and any plaque removal videos. I was raised Catholic but wouldn't say I'm really religious anymore. But sometimes I like going to church. It's comforting and it's a bit of tradition, plus a bit of time to think. My porn habit, lol. Even my hubby does not know the extent of it. God love private browsing. I pick up paper towels left on the floor in bathrooms, carefully compress the trash can if it looks full, still fearing sharps, and flush unflushed toilets in public restrooms because people can be really gross for some unknown reason. I occasionally post on Lady Boner's Gone Wild because that shit turns me on. I'd never admit this, but I really like Girls, the Lena Dunham Show. Gay porn. I know I'm not gay, or even bi. I'll watch straight porn too, but there's something about the male form that really turns me on. I could never date a guy though. I watch people play putt-putt on YouTube and get as excited as a rabid sports ball fan when people make hole-in-ones. I'm 36. This will probably get buried, but that's fine in this scenario, but my guilty pleasure is watching magical girl anime. So things like Sailor Moon, Madoka Magica, Cardcaptor Sakura, etc. are my jam. I'm a 23-year-old male who doesn't really watch anime, by the way. Sometimes, in a moment of weakness, I look at boobs, and I enjoy it. Watching BDSM porn. I'd never try it, but it's fun to watch. The Austin and Ally soundtracks. I cannot get through one episode of that show without either rage quitting and or going off on the rampage. But man, The songs are too freaking catchy and I love them to bits. My favorite is either Better Than This or A Billion Hits. Ooh. Or Illusion. And Not a Love Song is pretty high up there. Teen Mom and Teen Mom 2. Like, every week I go to mtv.com and I actually sign in with my Xfinity account, hoping another episode is out. Like to put my headphones in and dance around the bathroom. Has to be the bathroom because otherwise I can't see my dance moves. Am I a famous dancer? In a nightclub, starring in my very own dance movie. Who knows? The daydream changes every time. It's my weird guilty pleasure habit thing that I do when I'm home alone. I like listening to Kelly Clarkson. My favorite song of hers is Since You Been Gone. When I'm alone in my bed, I imagine I'm in a battle like an anime. I act it out with sounds and stuff. I imagined it in a series and now it looks like I imagined plenty of chapters since I began doing it. I planned to make it a novel or manga, but I am lazy. Hoo boy. Here goes. I have a kink that includes involving denial of any kind, jacking off, orgasm, even p, fm, ff, fanfiction, hentai, pornos, every material I can find. I tease my partner sometimes just for this reason. But most of the time I'm holding back because I'm afraid of going too far and I want him to have a good time. Though I have no problem when he teases me just as much. The idea of someone squirming and begging for release is recipe to get me soaking wet. I do arguments in my head with friends and people I know. I always win. Picking my nose and flicking boogers. I have a lot of nose hair. And during times like this of the year, pulling out a booger feels good and clears up my nasal passage. Transport and where I have been. I have logged every train and bus I have been on for the past 5 years. Think I started because I wanted to know how far I travel. Also flying on short-haul flights for day trips to places around Europe. Watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I hate it but I can't stop. My, maybe unhealthy, obsession with true crime and unsolved murders. I like that online it's considered normal, but I've mentioned it to a few friends. They freaked out and called me insane. I love to just shut down and have zero contact with the world. When my daughter is napping, I often simply sit on my couch. No TV, no phone, no electronics, and just sit. It's great. Thanks for watching. If you like, please subscribe.